AZ Radio Network. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Hazy Radio Network, its affiliates, or sponsors. All shows are independently owned and broadcast for entertainment purposes only.
You are about to embark on a journey. It will be an experience unlike anything you've seen before. On this journey, you will meet many people. Some will advise you, some will inform you, and some will entertain you. Every journey begins with a single step, and the time for that first step is now. Welcome to the all-new AZ Radio Network.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Radio Show with your host, Andrew Brewer, and his co-host, the not-so-psychic Hazy. Ladies and gentlemen, voted as one of the top 100 psychics in the world, your host, Andrew Brewer.
And 16 days since my baby walked away. And to my surprise, my life's been fine without you. It's only black and white, love was colorblind, but out of sight, out of mind. I'm breathing again now, I'm turning the page now. It's time to be all I can be. If it's not too late to give you my confessions and to start over again. If it's not too late to find what I've been missing, forgive and forget, 'cause I'm only human and I can change if it's not too late. It's not too late. I hear a voice telling me that I am better off alone. Every time I close my eyes, I see you. And I wonder why we always hurt the ones we love the most. I just don't know. But I'm breathing again now. I'm turning the page now. It's time to be all I can be. If it's not too late to give you my confessions and to start over again. I've been missing. Forgive and forget, 'cause I'm only human and I can change if it's not too late. If it's not too late.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rock and Roll Psychic Radio. My name is Andy Brewer. I hope everybody has had a fabulous 3-day weekend, Labor Day weekend. I don't actually work anymore, so I don't know the difference. But I know that other people still go to jobs, and I hope you had a fabulous day. It's a holiday, so it's shopping day for me in Ohio. Valley Thrift Store, 50% off, total madhouse. Oh my God, dude, it was a crazy place. Before the store opened at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's like 300 people outside.
Wow.
Like, it's like a Who concert. I mean, elbowing to get a cart.
Did you have to have
I got one of the...
Did you have to have an armband to get? Did you have to have an armband to get in?
No, you didn't have to have an armband
Okay.
to get in, but you had to be somewhat chill not to kill someone. So got in, standing in line to get a cart. I'm like second to get it, and all these people go around and grab the carts. Just like all these carts are gone. So I mean, I'm there for like serious shopping. So what I did, I have to tell my shopping story. This is taking me 2 seconds because it's an exciting day. So I get one of the suitcases and fill it up, and then somehow I ended up with carts. Bought a bunch of fabulous stuff. I got yellow dress shoes. Oh my God! And these are nice. Pretty low key. And then I harpooned myself with a broken glass. And since I didn't have any adhesive tape, I now have a big gauze bandage that is wrapped up with sale stickers. So right now it looks like all sales are final, and I'm 69 cents. So if you're interested,
I was going to say, how cheap are you?
For 35 cents, you can rent
half
me.
off.
So that's kind of how I spend my day. But
what?
Tonight is going to be an exciting night for me because I have, I like everybody, but I like some people more than others. And, our guest this evening, I've known for a long time, incredibly talented woman, drop that beautiful, we got a lot of good stuff. She is an author. She is an expert in past lives and reincarnation. She is an expert in hypnotherapy. She does a lot of things. She's very creative. She's an actress. I guess you would say that. She has, and not only, just to prove the genetics really does work, her daughter is just as beautiful. It's kind of frightening. So I realize it's kind of one of the weirder introductions I've ever given. But before I do that, before we bring on our guest, I have to welcome my lovely, talented, vivacious, sleep-deprived co-hostess, Zita.
That would be me. But,
That'd be
that's the norm. I'm always sleep-deprived. Just a little more this
Silly
weekend
woman.
than normal. Yeah. No complaints.
Well,
no complaints.
so I realize I've given sort of one of the more bizarre intros, but I felt it was really descriptive. Super talented, super beautiful, knows a whole lot of stuff. I mean, really, what more do you really say? So with that, we'll fill in the blanks as we go along. And I'm always excited to have her as a guest. Quick story. Years ago, I reached out when I was just starting out in radio land, however many thousands of years ago that was. I reached out to our guest and said, I would like you to do a radio show. She's like, dude, I'm not doing a radio show. I don't do radio. Kind of. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. But through my insistence and pleading and begging and whatever else I did, now she has her own radio show. It's on Friday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Contact Talk Radio. And our guest, Tara Sutphen. Tara, is that the strangest intro you've ever had in your life? I mean, truly.
That was so beautiful. I just love you for it, Andrew. I mean, we've known each other for a very long time, and I was so afraid to do radio, and you just really were after me for so many years, and then I, you probably couldn't find me in there for a little while, and then I came on the radio, and then we became very good together. doing psychic readings on the radio, and it's so much fun. And
Yeah,
I enjoy radio
I mean,
now that I've been on it for a while.
You're really good at it.
Oh, thank you. I've been on for 5 years now. Over 5 years.
That's fantastic. So it's been
Isn't
longer than 5 years. Oh, wow. That's good. It's good. See, I used my psychic powers to say, I think this is like right down your alley. But
right.
It took a while. I was persistent. So you've got a lot of stuff going on. Now,
yeah.
You've got workshops coming up, correct? Is that correct?
I do. I have amazing workshops coming up. Actually, I have so many ideas and so much happening and so many opportunities that it's just really hard to fit it in with some of the rest of my schedule because I'm working with some, MD, and we're doing some really amazing, innovative things. And I'm also, where we have the show that we've already done the pilot for, and so, that may be picked up, and that's really fun, and everybody loves it who sees it, and so we've been really super busy.
I want to focus on your show for a second, because I think it's the perfect formula. You have sort of a supernatural, ghostly bent. You have beautiful women, and you have food. So I think that really there can be no greater combination to me. I mean, it kind of hits every food group for me of something that I would want to watch. And I watched the trailers and the pieces you have. It really is amazing. And you and your daughter Cheyenne are really fabulous together when you play off each other. So for people who don't know what I'm talking about, do you mind kind of filling in a little bit about what this show is all about?
Well, we're not supposed to really give too much of it away because, even in our contract, we can do other projects. No, it's fine. We'll talk a little bit about it. But, Cheyenne is, which is funny because Cheyenne got asked to go and cast for just with her friends for some show, and they wanted her to try out as an actress. And she was like, oh, I'm not really an actress. We have this show coming up, but, it's more our expertise and stuff. It's not really about me acting. And they said, no, you have to. And it wasn't against our contract because our contract is a certain contract and we can do other things as long as it's not against our contract. So she went ahead, and it's real comedy. And it's just going viral. She's been on RollingStone.com. She's been on USA Today a couple of weeks ago. I mean, she's really, and she was really funny the day that, because it came out in USA Today first, and she said to me, Mom, don't put it on your Facebook. I was like, what? The whole world could know, but not my Facebook friends? Yeah. I said, this is when you put it up, honey. Yeah. So it's really funny.
Terry, you need to talk to your daughter. I mean, because for us, if we have stuff going on, I mean, I have a beautiful daughter too. If stuff's going on, I need to get some leverage out of this. You need to get some leverage out of this. I mean, look at all the things you've done for her.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's for her because she tends to be really humble and a bit shy. Her name's Cheyenne, but she is shy as well. And she's not, we put her out there, but the bottom line is she's a really amazing actress, and we didn't know. We really didn't know how good she is. She's great on TV. She's very articulate. She, just astounding whenever she's interviewed. She's way more articulate than I ever was at her age.
Well, I mean, there's this much to it. You two are very photogenic, so that's also an absolute asset.
Thank you. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, and she has a new CD out, MP3. I helped her write a money spell, and so between the both of us, people have been just saying that it works for them. All sorts of people. They've gotten jobs, and just listening to this Money Stone. I don't know if it's because I wrote it a little bit differently, and she's speaking it, and we like talked about things, and so it's kind of our combined energy. And boy, oh boy, I mean, people are loving it. It's called Money Stone, and she goes by Van Sutphen, which is the original name before it went through Ellis Island. So she loves that name, and she's been going by Cheyenne Van Sutphen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So she's in this new show that's kind of a cult classic with all the kids, and they've just been loving going to it. And so she's been featured in all the videos and stuff of that. So we'll talk more about that when that's probably aired next month, I'm thinking.
Well, that's fantastic. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so y'all have to have Cheyenne on the show.
You're even more entertaining than even I can imagine, and I give you a lot of credit for being entertaining. Yeah, I want to have a thing with you and your daughter at the same time. I mean, I wanted to kind of forge
that
you,
would be really fun.
Zita and I,
that'd be fun.
For ourselves. I want to shift gears just a little bit, because my initial way of understanding you years back was through your work with hypnotherapy and past lives. And past lives are kind of a theme for me, as you know, and something that keeps coming up and coming up, not only professionally for me, but it's also something that's sort of a passion for me. Now, I want to kind of pick your brain a little bit, because I know a lot of this, but I want to pick your brain again anyway. When you look at people, like, we're going to have Zita as your client. Uh-oh. So Zita's coming to you as a prospective client. She's interested. She has these kind of vague, like visions, and she's confused by life, and she thinks maybe there's something beyond what's right in front of her. Now, what is that process? I'm kind of breaking it down to the bare bones here, right from the get-go. The process when someone has this inclination, just as I did, 35 years ago, that maybe it's possible I've been here before. What is that process like for you with a new person to help them into that? What is that conversation like for you?
Well, if I was going to break it down, now, see, I would say, if I had a client, that I would say that they, we'll take Zita. I would say that I would start to scan her and read her and her energy. Everybody puts off an energetic wave off their body, and I usually start reading the solar plexus and the grid within them, and I start seeing a movie of their life, and that's how I can do the psychic ability. And I don't really tap in to be nosy on everybody because, it just gets to be too much overload, as you know. It's too much overload. It's just happier just to be kind of surprised and just be nice to people in life, and I don't always have to be fixing them. And if I feel I need to fix them, then I send the sentinel to fix them, because I feel that they're angels that if you ask them and call them, they will actually help the person. So I would say that somebody usually comes to me with a block of some kind, that they don't have love, their career, their health, their success, just money troubles, whatever it is, they come because they have a problem. And their problem would be not necessarily stemmed from what the problem actually is. The problem could be, say, they have a success block, but in reality, they've had a love block. And somebody has said something to them, either their parents, teachers, or somebody they admire, their mentors, or their lovers, or partners, or even their friends. Not necessarily their enemies. Their friends have said something negative, and they have taken it into their cellular level, into a cellular level, and then they can't process it out of their body to gain access into the next stage. And so, therefore, shamanically, I go in usually with the client, with the hypnotherapy. I read them as they're going in. So whatever blocks they're like, they'll see like black, say they won't see anything. I can't see. Oh, but I'm seeing everything because it's not blocked for me. I'm not in the emotion of whatever it is that they're afraid of or that they're witnessing on a level of hearing, seeing, feeling, and knowing. So I go in and try to process it with them. And so therefore I kind of gain maybe a little bit more information on what I need to help them get to their next stage. So I've had a lot of success because of all that.
So when you're doing this, you're doing it as a clairvoyant. That's the only way that you're able to really do this. I mean, what you're really saying is that you're reading your chakras. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not. I mean, but I mean, to me, of course, that's fantastic because that's, I think the way it should be done. And so basically at this point, we could say you're doing a kind of a diagnostic. You're getting a sense of where they are, what the real root cause is. And so once you've made that identification, so now you've gone in and you've got a sense of this is really base level where their stuff is coming from. Now, do you do it as a do you take them through a regression, or do you do something else, or
sometimes a regression.
What's appropriate?
Well, it just depends, with all of them. I either do it through hypnotherapy or I do it through a psychic reading. But I'm always giving shamanic energy. Whatever their problem is, it's like, okay, let's release that block. And if I can, help on some level, because of my near-death experiences, it's like I know the pathway to those things. So I can ask, these people on the other side, please, can you do this? I need, who are connected to, say, I can ask your guide or the sentinels, who I call the sentinels, who are the guardians who walk with you. And they are archangels, angels, rabbis, monks, saints, totem animals, a shaman, whatever you want them to be. However you see them, but they're four beings. They're north, east, south, and west, and they walk with you on your journey. And whenever you ask, see, it's like an archangel colony. If you ask, there are helpers on the other side who actually help you. But you have to ask. Mm-hmm. You must ask.
So, Tara, when you're working with someone that's new to this, so again, because I think it's really fascinating, and I want you to have an opportunity to really kind of, because I just make up what I'm going to say to you. So this is kind of where I'm at right today, and I think it's really fascinating, and I'm guessing other people will find it fascinating to look at your thought process and your methodology. So, so for someone that may not be familiar with shamanic journeying or the things that you're talking about, can you kind of shine a little bit more light on what that's like for you as an experience, and how that's how that impacts someone once they make that contact? Is that a fair question? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. I think, let's go back to Zita. And if she was my client, and I brought her into, and I can do it over the phone, I can read her voice pattern, I can start to really go into the energy without seeing somebody. As long as I hear their voice, usually I'm on it. I can go with whatever that wave is. And for me, it's support. It's like offering some kind of a support system at that point, because so many people are so broken and there's so many things going on, and they need to just get to a next stage. They just want a little bit of help and hand-holding. And if we all just reached out and picked somebody up instead of pushing them down, we would be so much better off in life.
I actually have a question. I actually have a question. Yeah. I have a question. I have a question. When you talk about when you first go in and somebody new has a question, and they usually have something specific they're focusing on, how often does it happen that when you start reading them or focusing in on them, that the question they're asking really isn't the reason that they're there. They're hiding their real
right.
true
I can
reason.
tell the hide right away.
Okay.
I can tell the
Okay.
hide. And it's okay, I feel like I don't like try to make anybody feel bad with the hide. It's more like just relaxing with the support. Like, it's not a big deal. Everybody thinks they hide behind trees, and, we can, it's really okay. It's just an okay thing. And I don't really make any judgments. It's just our personal journeys. My thing is, I would say that, certain people really need, like I feel like your great-grandmother is around you. Did you know her?
Yes, my great-grandmother I did.
Yeah, like she really, there's a support system there somewhere where she really watches out for you from the other side. And, and she's like the main one because there's something bossy about her that there wasn't with some of the others.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Well,
makes
they're
sense to you.
all the women. We're all women, so yeah, they were all bossy.
Yeah, but she was number one boss, though.
She was the matriarch. Yeah, she was the matriarch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just really feel that. Whereas, but that's but you start feeling just what people, who supports them, why they're supported. But where are they broken? Where are the spots where we need to reconnect or bring in the fragments of your, soul and glue them back together, and if not, just piece them back together so that you're a whole human being again. And then you can go on and say, okay, now I can do this. My confidence is back up to par, and I'm on a really good energy level, because a lot of times it's energy level and eating well and good attitude, and it's all like, it all works. It all has to like come into place. Otherwise, it's you're fighting, running downhill all the time. But
yep,
yeah,
I agree.
and so I'm
I agree.
not. I can tell you about your stuff, but I'd rather that I feel that you're protective a little bit.
Very.
So yeah.
Very. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we'll pick on Andrew. Okay, Andrew, it's your turn.
Yeah, well, I'm a total open book. And Zita, what happens is with your question, I think it's not so much that they hide as much as they're not conscious. Just as Tara said earlier, they may not be conscious because they see the symptom, but they don't necessarily understand the germ behind the symptom.
Right.
And I think a lot of it is really trying to understand the inception point. So you see it in your life as it manifests, perhaps, but it's not always so simple. I'm sure Terry can.
No, it isn't.
Jump into this too. It's for you to really isolate where it came from. Lots of times there are things that come from when you're young, very young, and just as Tara said earlier, those words and those expectations, negative expectations, tend to have a little bit more, clout, I think, in people's minds. And so you may have a picture like a layer that you're working through and not be conscious of that. It's in essence like you're thinking through somebody else's mind, kind of externally, as crazy as that sounds. So I don't think it's that people really try to hide as much as they haven't fully unraveled where these things are coming from.
Right.
And I think that regression work, hypnotherapy, is a good tool in order to drill down to where the seed is. You sometimes see the sprouts, but it's what's underneath the surface, and sometimes it's not as simple to point to.
Well, and could it be too, though, that they know what the underlying issues are, but they're afraid to bring that out? Whether it's
sometimes,
too
but
painful
not
or
everybody.
Not all the time.
Right.
I mean, I think it's probably about 50-50, wouldn't you say, Tara? I mean, there's somewhere around there. I mean, I think a lot of times people don't want to because, in essence, they're creating a false persona. They don't want to own whatever.
Yep.
And so I think sometimes, too, people think of themselves in a much darker way than they really are, and they think that, I'll see it.
True.
We'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a kind of a picture of themselves that I think they're really being too hard on themselves, and I think it's that picture that they're afraid somebody's going to see when it's probably not even real, you know.
Right. And what did they say? That everybody is fighting some kind of a battle.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, you never judge anyone because, of course, you may think somebody has it so good, but they have their own battle.
Mm. We're gonna take a short break, but before we do that, Tara, please if I wanted to schedule an appointment with you or find out more about you, what's the best way for me to go about doing that?
Probably through TaraSutphen.com. Yeah.
So
my website. Yeah, that's probably the easiest these days. Or just write at TaraSutphen@yahoo.com.
So,
and Tara Sutphen is spelled TARASUTPHEN.
Perfect. And I did post that in the chat room, too, so they've got it.
Okay.
So we will take a short break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with Tara Sutphen, our guest this evening. We're going to talk more about past lives, and we're going to talk about ways in which you can help kickstart your life by reprogramming the way in which you see yourself. So, we'll see you in just a second.
Doug, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Scott. I'm getting ready for Periscope Uncensored on Friday nights.
By expanding your vocabulary.
Well, it is uncensored.
Well, Doug, the Uncensored and Periscope Uncensored is Clarissa Vasquez and getting down to brass tacks with all aspects of the paranormal. It's not what you'd call a traditional radio program. There's no fluff on their show.
So no off-color commentary?
Well, I didn't say that.
Awesome! Oh!
Doug?
I just hit my head.
Oh, boy. I'll get you an ice pack. Catch Periscope Uncensored, Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on the Hazy Radio Network.
I'm working 2 jobs, and my husband works too. My kids go to school with your kids. I'm 1 out of every 6 Americans, and my family is struggling with hunger. I believe in this country, but it's hard to believe so many Americans have to choose between paying bills and feeding families. Visit feedingamerica.org and find your local food bank. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
1, 2, 3, let's boogie.
Your health is not just about your physical condition. Science is learning that your mind has a great influence on your overall health. A healthy body needs a healthy spirit and a healthy attitude to run its best. Join Helene Burke for Healthy People to discover ways to help you build the healthy life you want. Monday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Hazy Radio Network.
Would you like to get in on something that's ground floor right now, but has the potential to be the biggest thing of its kind in the world? You can do it right now by hosting your own show or sponsoring one of your favorite shows at the Hazy Radio Network. All you have to do is send us an email to admin@hazyradionetwork.com. We'll get back to you with all the details about sponsoring one of our fine shows that we already have, or you can do a show yourself. If you've always had that inner disc jockey in yourself and thought you'd be really good at it, this is a good way to find out. So join us right here on the fastest growing, fastest paced, bestest internet radio network, the Hazy Radio Network. Remember, that's admin@hazyradionetwork.com.
make my heart sing. I'd rather be with you, 'cause you're my everything. Oh baby, yes it's true, I owe everything to you. Just know you're in my heart with everything I do. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my girl. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my world. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my heart. Rather be with you, I'd rather be with you. Rather be with you.
Now you gotta worry about
your education, baby.
And I gotta worry about
my education, girl.
But the frustration is kicking me, can't lose my cool. You say be patient, it'll all work out, so that's what I do. Now here I am, your number one fan. We're face to face, at our own command. So baby, ride with me on this fantastic voyage. So many things I wanna show you.
I'd rather be with you, 'cause you make my heart sing. I'd rather be with you, 'cause you're my everything. Oh baby, yes it's true, I owe everything to you. Just know you're in my heart with everything I do. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my girl. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my world. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my heart. Rather be with you, I'd rather be with you. Rather be with you.
Due to certain circumstances, I can't always be around.
Be around, be around.
But just know no matter what's going on, I'll always hold you down.
Hold you down.
So just close your eyes and think about when we're together. Wish upon a star and it will all be better. Open up your mind and like magic, I'll appear.
I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you, girl. Nobody else but you, girl. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you, girl. Nobody else but you, girl. I'd rather be with you, 'cause you make my heart sing. I'd rather be with you, 'cause you're my everything. Oh baby, yes it's true, I owe everything to you. Just know you're in my heart with everything I do. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my girl. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my world. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my heart. Rather be with you, I'd rather be with you. Rather be with you.
We can take on the
Rather be with you, 'cause you're my girl. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my world. Rather be with you, 'cause you're my heart. Rather be with you, I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you, girl. Nobody else but you, girl. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you, girl. Nobody else but you,
Welcome back, everybody. Again, my name is Andy Brewer, and I want to welcome you back to Rock and Roll Psychic Radio. My lovely co-host is Zita Ost, and our guest this evening, Tara Sutphen. Before the break, we were talking, I was kind of picking Tara's brain a bit about the process of a client as he or she is working through how do I get from where I am to a greater understanding of myself, and what are some of the ways that we can help people tap into that? I mean, that's basically what we're talking about. And we left it, the way we left it, Zita had a question. And Zita, you want to ask your question again?
Well, I
think that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about when somebody comes to you as a client and how they present their question to you, and how often that question is actually masking something more critical or more serious. And we were going in that direction on how all that transpires and how you handle something like that, if that's where your reading should actually focus on it. How do you change that direction for that client, or do you?
Yeah, that's a good question because, sometimes I can't. they get so stuck in their karma. They don't like to listen, really. You know, they how people are agreeable at the moment, and then they're not. They don't, but they're programming. There's an exercise I do with people, and usually through the hypnosis process, that you're a clear thinking human. Your mind and your communication skills and your actions all are in sync. And so there's no more kind of acting out whatever that you're thinking or whatever you're saying. You're not acting out anymore. You're actually acting toward whatever that your dreams and goals are. Whether it's, finding a mate, to curing yourself of any sort of illness, or making more money.
And you always have to look at people's motivations, too. Because sometimes people consciously want something, but unconsciously don't want it. And so you have to look at, which one is really driving their train. And as far as can we change anyone? Well, no, we can't change them. It has to be based on a way of processing for themselves its information, and they can act upon that information, but they have to act upon it. And think of it like this. If you want something, you're going to get it. But if you think you should want it, you just kind of zippity-doo-dah, kind of lukewarm approach to it. Most people go after things they think they should want, but they don't really want it. Or they want it, but they think they don't deserve it. So that's the two buckets that most people are going to fall into. So you have to look at, okay, what is it you really want? And if that's really what you want, why the heck don't you think you should have it? I mean, that's the simple way. But getting to that process of having people release the reasons why they're afraid of it, or they're really wanting what they want, that's a lot more complicated. I mean, that's not just us. I mean, that happens with everyone. Trying to really get in touch with what am I all about? What do I really desire? What do I really care about? When you know what you want, there's nothing going to stop you. But the problem is most people play out somebody else's script. And that's where they get into trouble.
Yeah. And, that's what I'm working with the MD that I've kind of teamed up with. And it's not with pills, but it's going to be, I think, a lot of breakthrough. And we're having a lot of fun. It's all going to be in surgery centers, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. But it's deep mind stuff. We're really going into the whole deep mind. We want to break that, whatever it is. If you truly want to be successful, then we're gonna really embed it into the consciousness. And same thing with beauty or weight loss or any of it. So we've been having a lot of fun mapping it all out.
Yeah, and you always got to think though in terms of the weeds. Though I mean, those weeds, the subconscious, the fears and the scripts that say you can't do that. They can grab onto things, and
and you're gonna have that's what we'll have to address. That we already talked about that. We have to address all the things that maybe could go wrong with the person's. They have to have a few sessions before of really getting in to figure it out, what they really need and what they really want.
So I'm going to up the ante here a little bit. Yeah. Lots of times those scripts will be something that we can probably isolate and say this happened when you're 3 or 4 or whatever. But not always. Sometimes there's no easily found inception point catalyst for that mode of thinking, that mode of feeling. And so the next place to go is before this lifetime. Because I believe that a lot of this stuff, it's my own theory, I want your opinion on it, a lot of these things may be styles of behavior that you start off with. And if so, they predate any sort of early childhood development. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I think it can be at any age that, we break. There's a break somewhere. And, and the past life. I totally believe in reincarnation, even if we don't think that we have it within our conscious mind. In our subconscious mind, there is some kind of past history that we hold on to. And because we all come up with different things, and it's just like, really? And it's fascinating. I've always found the research fascinating. And what we hang on to on some level from someplace else, even if we're making it up, say, why would we make up that? And because a lot of times the real things where people were starving to death, or they were being persecuted by other people, or they were in terrible countries where wars were happening, and there's impoverishment, or there was too much of something. There's always, we're such a schoolhouse, it's Earth-like. We love it. We come here, I think, to experience the passion and the love and all the interests and happiness where we can catch it, all the moments. But there's a lot of torment, too, and a lot of sorrow, and a lot of trying to wrestle with our lives to make them go in the right direction that we want to go. So if we use our minds to where the stronger our minds are, and we create strong bodies with our minds and our actions, then we're, it's all like a process of going forward into more of a super being. Being strong, morning and at night, instead of, wimping out a lot, because we can. Being sad or being depressed, and that's such a first world, problem anyway. Nobody else has that problem except for the overindulged ones, our Americas and the first world countries. When we're not moving our body enough. Yeah, we need to move our bodies. And to feel fulfilled, like we're helping other people, whatever it is, find it. That's where I come in, and you come in. And then Zita, are you a psychic?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay. Kinda, sorta.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
what do you mean not really?
Well,
yeah.
I see. I don't consider myself a psychic because I don't do this all the time. I only do it when it's called upon. When
oh my God! Well,
it's
I
necessary.
don't do it 24 hours a day either.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's rare that somebody will ask me something, and it's when that happens, it's kind of a meant to be kind of thing. But I don't call myself that. I just say I'm intuitive because I don't know what it all means yet. I've been just like this my whole life.
It makes more sense than to tell people, because then they'll just ask you questions all day. I mean, Tara and I weren't, bright enough to know better when we were young. So, and I think that's what a lot of people, they go, well, yeah, you're psychic as can be. You're just too smart to let on about it, to tell other people.
Well, when you grow up with a family of them, you kind of stay in the background after a while.
Yeah, but, the thing is, I don't believe everybody's psychic. I know some people do. I don't. I don't believe it.
I don't either. Yeah,
I guess everybody, but to me, a lot of people don't have enough to register.
Yeah, it has to be learned, I know that, my near-death experiences and all my surgeries and stuff, that was what created, an amazing psychic ability. Did I like it? Gosh, I thought it was a curse, for so many years until I really had to click into it because I had no way out. I always thought I was wanting to be a veterinarian. It was an equine, I went to equine science for years and art school for years. And, I was going to be deeply into this work. I mean, and it's just paid off. I'm now president of Alaska Awakening Spiritual Unity, which is an elder nonprofit corporation. And, they have 329 tribes and 20 languages.
Wow.
And it's such a great honor that they believe that, I can help them move this we just got our 501c3 status and to be able to move it into its next stage. So it's, it's this sort of thing where I know that my life has always had some kind of a direction. So I just have to go with those directions. And I appreciate them and feel fulfilled by them.
Totally get that.
My vote, Zita, is that you actually really may be sort of like, yes, you are. So I appreciate.
She's very psychic. Yeah, she's very psychic.
I appreciate your humility. I appreciate your hiding. That's hiding. Oh my God, it's a theme. Every show has a theme.
Yeah, she likes to hide.
So,
she likes to hide. But you know why she likes to hide? You want me to tell you, Zia?
Why?
Can I tell you?
Yes.
But it won't be, it's like not embarrassing.
That's
it's just that it's just too much pressure that you don't know how to shake it off yet. There's you'll hear all this stuff all the time, and you don't really know how to shake it off sometimes. And that's where you're thinking you're not psychic.
Yeah.
But you are psychic. You know that. You know the way out for people. When they're going on and on, you always have an opinion of what that way out is for somebody.
That I do.
And that's what you use.
That's what I do.
And that's what you use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do that all the time. It's kind of like people ask me what it feels like, and it's like you know the answers without knowing why you know the answer.
Ding dong.
You just know the answer. So, and sometimes I just know the answer, sometimes I don't. So, but yeah, that.
Well, there's no psychic that's 98% accurate and knows everything.
Oh, I know a few who think they are.
I don't care if I understand what they think.
I know.
But I'm just saying
exactly
that they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I started predicting things when I was 6 and 7 years old.
Hello?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, Zita, seriously. So you're seeing things as a young girl. Probably went away for a while, as it does for all of us who have it as a child, because we're trying to get through, third grade. And now you just sometimes know things.
Mm-hmm.
But since you don't know it every time, then you're not psychic. Please.
Well, the reason I went away from it is because growing up Catholic, I had to go through and fight that reality of it all. And even though I knew what it all meant, I was told I was going to go to hell. And so I believed my elders. And, even though my mother was psychic, my sisters were psychic, so you just, and I think everybody goes through that at one point in their life where you just shut it down until you find it accepted somewhere. And once you're accepted, then you're able to kind of bring all that back out. But it takes a lot of work to gain that confidence back in order to say...
confidence, that I understand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, the one thing in my favor, good or bad, is on a 1 to 10 confidence scale compared to other psychics, I'm about a 999, right? So that doesn't mean I'm better. It just means I have a lot of confidence in it,
Mm-hmm.
So it relaxes me. And so, you have to think the difference between sort of a higher end, more talented, more accomplished person in metaphysics as opposed to someone just starting off. It may not be any more psychic, high and low end. It's just that they have decluttered themselves.
Like,
they've gotten rid of a lot of the fears, and they're more into a rhythm with it. They understand it. They've had different experiences. I've been through this. I know what's coming next.
It's not necessarily
they just have a different story. You want me to tell you that?
No, all of a sudden we lost everybody, so I'm just bringing Tara back.
Oh, did we lose everybody?
Yeah, we lost everybody. We're back. We're back on air.
We're back.
So,
hey.
So I guess
anyway,
people
I
are
was
going to
saying
hear this.
practicing. Right.
Yeah, you got to practice. You got to get into a rhythm with it. It's you get used to it. You get a lot of it is not so much being psychic. It's dealing with the logistics of the conversation. So there's a lot of bedside manner that goes into it. And those, I think, are the things that really are more complicated, So you get into kind of a flow with it. And that just is doing it a lot. If you do it enough, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you did it more, you would be like, I'm a psychic.
If I did it more.
Yeah, and I had to come around to doing it as a job. For me, it was like fun for a lot of years, and I had, like I said, it's always meant to be. But I had to come around this whole thought process that it wasn't a curse; it was actually a blessing for me to know what was going on and how I could use it as a blessing, because it's not necessarily great to know what's going to happen with somebody or to have kind of an anxiety of anybody's life.
Right.
That's not a very fun thing. So,
you
learn to work
I think it's also accepting the responsibility of what you're actually taking on.
Right. And like Andrew was saying, there's a certain protocol where you don't scare people unnecessarily. You don't, you always give them the way out before you're giving them just like a solid, this is what I see and this is what's going to happen to you.
Right.
It's just you don't do that.
Exactly.
That's never right for anyone, because everybody has a choice in everything that they, say or do in life.
Yep, absolutely.
So you have to allow that.
Them. Right, it's more important to protect the client than to show off how psychic you are. And there's lots of times when I will have an impression and I feel incredibly confident it's going to happen, but I don't think it's necessarily appropriate or helpful. So I need to say, this is going to happen, if it does, then wow, great. But I don't think that that's always the best plan. So you make value judgments within the conversation that you try to have a flow that's empowering. Ultimately, it's about being helpful and showing compassion and love to the client. I've said this a million times. You have to love the client. You really do. And you have to protect them. And you have to care about what happens. It's not just like, well, I see it, I'm going to tell you. Well, no, I don't believe that. I think you have to really focus on being kind first. That to me is more important. So somebody who's less like off-the-hook psychic but is compassionate and is nice, to me they're more, I give them more the benefit of the doubt of someone else who might be more sort of accurate as a psychic but is rude. That doesn't fly with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever get too much of that. Mine are all pretty well behaved if I have to think about it. I just feel that, everybody has a dark side and a light side. And so we try to concentrate on how to work that light side and create the best avenues for the darkness, as far as like to let it go or to, like the blocks part of it, like to the confidence level or the path. Sometimes the path is, rocky. But then a lot of times, I'll put in that a lot of signs in your life are actually, and terrible things that happen are actually, the shamanic signs are huge. Because, even though the really bad things happen to people, and I don't mean physical pain because that's just really awful. But usually, just any relationship breakups, money issues, there's a lot of lessons learned in all those to go to the next stage into how you are fulfilling your life in the prosperity of humanness. You know, and where it's not all about money. It's all about your spirit, and it's all about your heart, and it's all about how expanding your mind is. You know, it's all about everything. And the more you step into that, I believe that you attain it.
Totally agree.
And yeah, and sometimes I sound really airy-fairy or Pollyanna, go for it. But I've had a lot of bad things happen. I already know it's my stuff. But I find that there's shamanic signs to make me a greater person, a greater therapist, and working on, and I'm in such incredible projects. I mean, they're just like at the top of the game. And it's not just one, it's like 4 right now, and I think, oh my gosh. It's almost like I have to pick one to make sure that it goes into the avenue where it's supposed to, because I don't allow a lot of fiddling around where it's in too many areas. But it's all about hypnotherapy, and it's all about psychic ability, and it's all about going forward and teaching people and using it as a tool for everyone to use it as well. Because I don't feel it's just for me.
Yeah.
It's for everyone.
I agree.
And that is the truth. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And the universe is vast, it's a limitless universe. I mean, there is no shortage of anything. When that's only a limited mind process. You just don't allow it. Because a lot of people do that with love. They do that with money. We even do that with cells.
Do you find
working with our bodies?
Do you find too that when you're reading somebody that they really know the answer to the questions they're asking, they just need a validation of it or a confirmation that their decision is the right one?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think they're really lost, and they just aren't thinking straight. I don't know exactly what's going on, but their confidence level is just down to the ground. People have hurt them, and they've allowed it to permeate their being. When people blame them, they take it in. Yeah. And I mean, these are things that you're not supposed to really take in life. They're the person's problem. They're not your problem. And a lot of times it's being projected upon you. And so therefore, you have to come very, have a self-talk with yourself and say, okay, I'm okay. I can go forward. My mind is going to process. I'm just going to keep going forward. No leaps, just forward movement, making good decisions and choices every day. And those good choices every day, just little things start to really make a difference.
Sure.
And even if it's about talking bad about people, any of it, whereas you're putting down somebody for doing something that you would like to do or have or achieve. No more of that. You have to live up to a certain level of what you want. And so you start going toward it. But it's not overnight. It's a process. And when we start learning that it is a process and we can achieve it, then everything goes forward.
Yeah, I agree with what Tara's saying. And, to answer your question, sometimes people come because they're have decisions and they just want clarification. But it's not one size fits all, remember. And
right, exactly.
There are, in my personal sort of psychic universe, more often than not, that's not the case. Because I think the more common exchange is for people who really are struggling more than that, I think. To me, it's more common. That's my experience.
Okay.
So with
that the struggle is the inner struggle or the outer struggle, or both?
Well, I mean, they're both, right? I mean, so that's kind of a third chakra kind of thing, thematically, right? So if I'm dealing with a lack of power, then that is going to be manifested in things not happening for me in the external world. And as I see things not happening for me in the external world, it's a tape loop, it's a loop. So that makes me feel more frustrated, less powerful, less inclined to take a chance because I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want the rejection. This become loops, and so you have to try to kickstart that and change the loop. So, long story only sort of long, I think that more often than not, in psychic readings, and I've tried, I bet I've done at least 10,000. I mean, I think that's at least 10,000. And I would say that more than half are people who are really unconscious of what's in their way. That's my opinion.
Okay, cool, interesting. Okay, and that makes sense.
So let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about some of the cool things that Tara has coming up. Because I always love when she does stuff, and and we'll have fun with that. So again, our guest this evening, Tara Sutphen, TaraSutphen.com, TaraSutphen.com. We'll be back in just a few minutes on the Hazy Radio Network. We'll see you in just a second.
Host of Crossing the Void Radio here on the Hazy Radio Network. So, with the warm weather of summer coming, we all want to be outside at the beach or just with our family and friends enjoying it, right? Make sure you're ready for summer with the Hazy Radio Network as well. Yeah, and I know what you're saying, Scott. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. Hazy Radio Network is found on many mobile applications for your Android, iPhone, or iPad. Applications like YourMuse.fm, iTunes, TalkStream Live, and many more. Just find your favorite, and we're probably there. Always remember the motto, be prepared. Drink lots of water, use plenty of sunscreen, and always remember to listen to Crossing the Void Radio and the Hazy Radio Network. To find more about where you can find the Hazy Radio Network, come to our website, www.hazyradio.com.
My name is Meera Batra, and this is How I Live United. Many families have come to America for a better life. I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to see opportunities available. We help them get involved with their kids, schools, and network within the community. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunity and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you. And your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
Hi, this is Hazy, and you're listening to the Hazy Radio Network.
Speed of light, can't let you get away tonight. I'm running at the speed of light, can't let you get away tonight. Love is a journey, and where you end up you'll never know. And when you got something good, it's really hard to let it go. I miss your voice, miss your smile. My heart don't beat when you're not around. I can't breathe, I don't know how. I hope my feet don't fail me now. I'm running at the speed of light, can't let you get away tonight. I'm running at the speed of light.
Welcome back, everybody. Once again, our guest this evening, Tara Sutphen. And before the break, we were again talking about the types of questions that people may have for psychics, hypnotherapists. But we also, the last thing we were talking about before the break were some of the projects that Tara has on the horizon. So I want, because I'm an inquiring mind, I want to know what the heck you got going on. So Tara, what are some of the projects you have? Because I want to talk about those because I know one of them involves a party, I believe, and I like parties.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, Cheyenne and I are going to have a party up at a house in Malibu where we're going to have a Renaissance costume party for the fall equinox on September 21st. So I haven't even announced that yet, but we plan to make it really fun. So we're going to have readers up there, and yeah, it's going to be fun. But everybody dresses up. So yeah, Cheyenne and I thought we'd do a fun party.
We used to do this thing years ago called the Come As You Were party. It's about past lives, right? So we would have people dressed up.
Oh, am I hearing you?
Like whoever they thought they were in a past life. And I love those parties because they're always, you know.
Did I lose you guys again? Yep, we lost him again. Hold on, I'm going to try to get him back. Hold on, everybody. And we will get them back in just a second. And here they come. Okay, we are back. I'm just calling the host back. They should be back in just a second. All this psychic energy going on.
Wow. So, are we on?
Yeah, I'm just waiting
for
Tara. There we are. We're back. Yep, we're on.
Well, what can I say? You know, I guess we blew up the... but when we have these parties, right, we would have parties and everybody would dress up as whoever they thought they were in a past life. Lots of times you do it at Halloween, but you can do it throughout the year. So anything that has a party and a theme and you get dressed up and there's psychics and metaphysical issues associated with it, I'm there. I love those things. So are you going to do the food for this too?
Well, we'll do hors d'oeuvres and kind of feasty hors d'oeuvres, finger foods, but we're not going to go all out like we have been for, you know, all the shows and everything. So, yeah.
So is this a private party or
No, we're going to make it a public party, you know, so we'll all announce it here in a few days. We're going to, but, at a location in Malibu, at a really, I mean, just an amazing house that looks out over the ocean, and it's beautiful, amazing house. So we'll have a party there.
Well, good for them. That's bold.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so you know, opportunities just come all the time these days. I mean, I have so many venues and so many opportunities. And I guess it's just living this life of that I believe that every day is magic, and so people, you know, allow themselves to share or offer things as far as, you know, this would be a nice place to do something, you know, that kind of thing. And so I went to go check out that venue, and it was just incredible.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I love doing those things. I mean, I've done not as many as you, but I've done a bunch. And they're always, I mean, whenever you have an environment in which you can be, like, it is kind of a party or a social event, like I do, you know, like I'm going to Minneapolis, actually, one of the places, and I'm doing, like, an expo. Well, the expo is not a party. It's, you know, it has a certain kind of energy to it. But when you have things and there really are parties, and you're working as a psychic, or you're just sort of like mingling around, to me, those are the most rocking things of all. And so I think that the vibe that goes with that is, how's the best way to say this? There's a certain energy associated with being a psychic, right? And sometimes there's a certain expectation that comes with it. But when you can just go and have a good time and you still get to kind of do your thing and talk, and it's, you know, everybody's in that space, to me that's the most fun of all. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like being the event. I like kind of being at the event, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. No, I have really, you know, I've done seminars since 1982, so I've been doing them for a very long time, and with, you know, just helping at first, and then I was, you know, doing them with ex-partner, and then now just being on my own for the last 10 years, it's been incredible, but I still love when I teach with other people, and I have, you know, those seminars here and there, and doing all my mystic trainings and druid pacts and moon rituals. I do all those moon celebrations that everybody loves, and I do a lot of teaching, you know, psychic development at my teen class. I've been really proactive in teaching people how to manage their lives more psychically, being in tune with the here and now.
Have I told you the story of the very first thing I did that I got paid in metaphysics? Have I told you the story?
Tell me. No.
You know what my first paying gig was as a psychic?
What?
It was as a bodyguard for a channeler. So the first thing I ever did.
Channeler?
Yeah, for a channeler. So my very first psychic engagement was as Mafu's bodyguard. So back in the 80s, when Ramtha was sort of big, there was also there were other channelers, but one of them was a woman, her name is Penny Torres, and she channeled an entity by the name of Mafu. And so I was her bodyguard.
Well, just a lot of people were after her, but just because she was different and weird.
Well, I mean, you know, so there was a big seminar. It was at this hotel, the Sheraton downtown. This was in Ohio. So they wanted someone to, I don't know how I ended up with this. They wanted someone that would be able to sort of like, be like the bouncer, but would talk to people and keep them away from her. So this is what I did. This is literally the first thing I did where I was...
Right, you're very charming. So it was a good job for you.
So yeah, so I was Mafu's bodyguard. So there you go. So that's... when was that, 1987 probably?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was around J.Z. Knight, who became Ramtha, who channeled Ramtha for many years, late 70s, with at Jester and South. She'd come to the parties and stuff with her, then Bent's husband. Yeah, she married another guy later, but yeah, and then I met him too a couple times, but yeah, I saw her quite a bit. I don't even know if she's still really doing her thing, but I'm sure she is.
Yeah, she probably is. I don't know.
But, yeah, I don't know.
So, Zita, what do you think about my entry into the psychic world as being a bouncer? Does it seem to fit?
Oh, that is funny.
But you
were a charming bouncer.
I was going to say exactly.
I was a charming bouncer.
You were supposed to keep everybody
at
bay.
Exactly. You know, and it's whatever.
So that no one...
It's whatever it takes
to
it's whatever it takes to get you there. They'll get you there, and if that's what it took, then that's what it took.
Yeah, because I didn't want to go, so they were trying to go. We want you to come. I'm like, well, I'm not paying to go there. I mean, it's like expensive, and back then I was like, no, I don't think so. Well,
wait.
So they ended up. I got to go to free, and I got paid. So that's how it works.
Right, but did you look at her and say, I can do this? What made you feel? did you just become psychic after that? I mean, just the energy and the openings, and you know, maybe she was magical. You know, her shamanic ability opened your shamanic ability.
Well, so here's the. You haven't heard this story, have you? You haven't heard the whole.
No, go for it.
So okay, so. You know, I went through the things I went through as in my 20s, and I went through all this stuff, and I worked with Sai Rome, and I did all these things, and I kind of went and just did it all on my own. I studied, meditated, read books, like 5 or 6 years straight. Didn't do it professionally, but I spent a lot of time thinking about it, all throughout my 20s. Then, when I was 29, I went back to college, and I was sort of a return to the world of, jock, poet. That's kind of where I was. So I moved to this apartment, and in an area that was off campus a bit, in an older area with a bunch of really cool Victorian houses. I'm living on the top of this Victorian house. And so I want to go get something to drink, and I walk by this place, and it's a bookstore. Wow, bookstore is like, me in a bookstore is like a fat man in a donuts shop, I'm like, go in. So it turns out to be a metaphysical bookstore. But the woman that again, I'm showing my whole demeanor here. The woman that works there is beautiful, 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 beautiful. And so I go talk to her, just because I'm there. And I strike up a conversation with her. And I want to show off a little bit, right? That I know how to do these things. And I'm talking to this woman for like 20 minutes maybe. And like all the other people that work at the store, they're like hanging around me. They're talking to me. And she goes, oh, I'm doing this event, and I want you to be the psychic. I'm like, what are you talking about? We want you to do this thing. I mean, I'm like, oh, I don't think so. So, but I wanted to continue to talk to this woman, right? So I go, sure. I mean, I thought about it for a while. She's like, oh, please, we would just wish we'd be so happy. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, should I do this? Should I do this? Because at the time, I had a lot invested in being a shortstop and a point guard, and I got a lot of attention for being an athlete. And I didn't think being a psychic was going to really help me as an athlete, right? But I did it because I wanted to make friends with this girl. So because of that, then before her event at this bookstore, then she wanted me to meet this woman that did this channeling, and I said, and she said, it's like however much money. Oh, I'm not going to that. I mean, I want to talk to you, but I'm not going to that. So, well, I think you should go to this thing. I'm like, great, but I'm not going. And so at the end, they arranged it so that I got to go, but I also got paid, but I had to be the bodyguard. So that's the true National Enquirer version of how my psychic career, my professional career began. And so then I didn't have business cards. I ended up being like from the day that I first did my first professional reading. Within 3 or 4 months, I had a radio show and had all this stuff. I was in the newspaper and whatever. It was nuts. And then I was on television. But it all happened sort of accidentally. I didn't mean to. And I only did it because I wanted to talk to Esther. That's how it happened.
Well, she was your conduit.
Yep. Total soulmate. Absolutely. Both good and bad. And because working at that store, my ex-wife was later hired to do all the marketing, and that's how I met her. So.
Oh, that's sweet.
So there you go.
So it was a real karmic group for you, these people.
Yeah, that was the most fun period of my life.
Yeah.
I loved working in that store. It was like the most social thing ever. And it was at that store that we came up with the idea of the Come As You Were parties. And we used to do them. And they were incredible.
Oh, yeah, fun. Right.
So that's
so now are you yeah. No. Are you ever going to think about working maybe in a store again? I mean, have you thought about being the psychic, like one day a week at a fun store?
I've thought about it, but it never really kind of works out, And I don't know that experience, because I managed that store, ended up managing that store, and I was there 80 hours a week pretty much. But it was like my world, right? So everybody back then, and before Borders and everybody started having, New Age books, back then you couldn't find them, right? I mean, there wasn't any place to go. You had to go to a store like this. So the people that wanted to make those connections, they would show up, and you became friends with them, and all the little witches, and we all became friends, and then all the little goth witch girls would bring the organic catnip, and it's all.
Right.
So.
Right, it became a clique. Yeah, like seminars, and then I had a store, and that happened a lot, and the store is still going, and gosh, it was magical just when I was in there a couple days ago. It was amazing. Yeah, people are so amazing. Yeah,
where is
it's
that
fun
store?
Sometimes to be with them.
Where is that? Is that in Malibu?
Malibu. Yeah. I started Malibu Shaman. Yeah. Yeah, and then,
so you have a store now in Malibu?
No,
I'm just not catching on to what's going on.
Scott has it now. Scott Sutphen has it.
My
little baby stepson, my ex-stepson,
yeah.
who's not very much younger than I am, but he has it now, and yeah, he's great.
I talked to him because Dick told me to talk to him, but I didn't. When I was in L.A., the first round I was in L.A., but I never bothered. I didn't work out to do something there somehow.
Oh, okay. So did you go in?
No, I never went. Because then I became a Russian assassin, and I started doing other stuff.
Right, it's the acting instead. You got the acting bug. Whereas, I haven't tried to be in the acting world. I really haven't.
I didn't try to do either.
Tried
it just
that.
sort of happened.
No, and Cheyenne hasn't either. Now, Cheyenne and I have to say, we're railroaded that direction, but in reality, we haven't really gone out of our way to be actresses. But it is amazing that we have a great chemistry on film.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wouldn't have thought as much with Cheyenne, because in actuality, the boys tease me much more. My two boys, they tease me, and we're always, we're all my three kids and I are always laughing together and having fun. But we talk very seriously, of course, too. But they love to tease me, all my kids, and it's usually the boys and not really Cheyenne. Cheyenne doesn't really like to be teased. Like, she doesn't like when Hunter and I are together a lot of times, because we love to laugh. And he's so observant, Mr. Gemini observant. Yeah, so it's pretty fun. Yeah.
See, what do you think of all this? You're being very quiet.
I'm listening. I think it's great.
That's been her forte all her life. It's good listening.
I listen and absorb and I learn. I just think it's all fascinating.
Yeah, but she always knows the answer to the thing. So what is the answer? Like, what is it for Andrew? What is it? Yeah, I know, but I want her unpsychic opinion of what she feels. But there's a light for the end of the tunnel for you.
I think...
For me?
Oh, yeah. I see... Because, Andrew, you've gone through 4 different phases in your life that I can see. 4 what I call critical phases that you've gone through that were major life-changing. And you've got at least 2 more coming up.
Oh, fabulous. Thanks.
But, no, but... What I mean,
are they going to be bad ones?
No, not at all.
And I think it's going toward greater things.
Absolutely. And
I think all your bad ones are gone.
They're gone.
I think my shamanic rotor blades are gone.
Yeah.
That's probably true. I mean, I can think of one. I'm actually, contemplating one right now. So.
Well, I think what you're going to do is some of the things that you have done in the past, probably in the last maybe 10 years, you have shifted from one thing to the next. But I think what you're going to do now is you're going to start merging it all together into one concrete package. And that's going to be the next step, is to start merging some of these things that you've done together. And once that's done, then you're going to be like unstoppable.
I had my guest last week was Ajamu Aginde. I don't know if you know who he is. Do you know Ajamu? Oh, he's great. He's out of New York City, and his mother, she was into silver mind control, and he's just a brain. He's always been a brain, always into hypnosis, even from when he was little, because she used it for him for tests and his homeworks and stuff, and hypnosis and guiding him through. And she was a social worker, and so she used it on all her clients, which, very commendable, especially in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, when it really wasn't vogue. So he went through going through being a teacher, then a history teacher, and then he became a sports therapist. I don't know if it was like a sports therapy, and then he has turned around now and does medical. He works mostly on oncology and pediatrics, but he's specialized. And, it's just really fabulous to hear him specialize and how many clinics and everybody have picked him up now. It's incredible. I was really happy for him.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And so maybe that's it, just with you. I mean, I was feeling when Zita was saying that if you just specialized, it would just be rocking. Mm-hmm. The rock and roll psychic would be really rocking.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be proving his name
Well,
more.
I was a corporate executive, right? And, I've said the last couple of years that I predict sort of a second .com era, and a lot of it with medical diagnostics. Well, I actually got a phone call from someone that I worked with just this week, right? And we're talking, and I'm kind of giving her outlining, because she now owns a software company, outlining the steps that you go through to make these releases. Even though I haven't done it in 6 years, my brain just automatically goes back. I just know how these things work and how, I just know it, like backwards and forwards. It's interesting. So I left it because of a certain element of trauma, right? I guess you could say it was PTSD after my daughter died, and I just didn't want to be in a corporate setting. But when I think about it, it's like I instantly can go back into it, right? I can instantly see all, and I understand it at this, in a way, you could say I'm better at it than I am at being a psychic in a lot of ways. It's just that it's just super easy for me. So we'll, maybe. I've debated, maybe at some point I would return to that universe, even though I said at the time it never happened again, but maybe.
Yeah, can I say something about, I feel like your little daughter, what was her name?
Lena?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel that she's, she's been coming throughout the whole time we've talked. Yeah. And do you always picture her as like 3 to 5 years old?
Yes, always. Mm-hmm. Because I always see her probably around 3 in that range, and even
but
when
talk
she
and hold
was
the conversation.
Yeah, and because she was stillborn, right? So she didn't make it to 3 to 5, but that's always the way she's appeared to me, even at the time. And like I'll walk through Target or someplace, and this happened to me 8 years ago, and it still happens to me. And she always shows up the same. So I would see this little girl, and she'd always have the hat, the little hats that like toddlers wear. She had the little fat legs. She'd toddling along, and I would follow her through the store, and I'd always every time, no matter what store I was in up in this, I looked up, I was always standing in front of, like, the little kid rod and reels. For whatever reason, this child likes fishing, right? So I'd always see, like, the Little Mermaid or the Cinderella, fishing rod. And it still shows, she still sort of shows up that way to me.
Well, maybe you were fishing together or something, and like Italia or something.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, but she
does show up that way to me.
Right, because there's like a message. I feel that she wants to tell you that she didn't leave your life because of you. She left her life because of what was to be her life, and she didn't want to be brave enough to face whatever her life was. And not to say that it was going to be a terrible life, but it was just coming together with people. And it wasn't you and her mom. It was other people when she grew up that she just didn't want to face. She felt she didn't want to face after all. And so she opted out. And she feels so terrible that she made you both feel so horrible about your lives. And she says she didn't really realize that. But, everybody has a choice, I guess, to come in or to opt out of whatever they decide that they're going to work on this lifetime. And she just, didn't mean to hurt you.
Yeah, it's interesting because when Rihanna, my first child, she's 23, and when Rihanna showed up, I was a psychic, and she was a toddler, had an opportunity to do all this TV stuff, and I turned it down because I didn't think that she would. I didn't think it was the right, environment for a young baby to have a daddy.
Sometimes it isn't, sure.
But so I didn't have a lot of money, and everything worked out fine. Later, I'm like rolling in money. I got this incredible corporate management consulting gig, and I mean, everything is the way that you would say you should have it. Where with Rihanna, nothing was the way it should be, but it all worked out fine. And with Lena, I mean, everything, money, house, cars, everything. I'm an executive for an insurance company, and then it all just goes. So I was just thinking about this today, actually. I mean, a lot of it was that I couldn't accept not knowing that this was going to happen. I was like mad at myself that I didn't see it, right?
Oh, that you were too excited that she was going to come in? No, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's real life.
Yeah.
That's real life.
So,
you don't necessarily can read yourself at all times. You can read yourself sometimes, but you can't read that sort of thing. Your excitement would have you would have overcompensated for any sort of fear maybe at that point.
We actually have a caller if you guys want to take it.
For sure.
Okay, I'll pull him into the call.
So, so I just thought it was just really interesting for her, because she's still around all the time with you.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hello, we have a caller. We have area code 310. Hello, who are you? Say hello to Andrew and Tara for me.
Hi, this is Carmen. I'm calling because I wanted to ask you a question. My daughter's been in a relationship for 2 years, and I think it's definitely at the point where she needs to move on and walk away.
Hey, Carmen, forgive me. I didn't really catch what you said. I didn't really hear you.
Yeah, it's a little echoey.
You can't hear it?
So, your daughter's in a relationship?
Yes, for 2 years, and to me, it's like kind of it's dysfunctional, and she's been going back and forth whether to walk away from the relationship, but now it's at the point where I think she's struggling where she feels like she has to walk away.
Yeah. What do you think, Andrew?
I'm still. You have to forgive me. I'm not really hearing you. Is your question, so Carmen, what is your question?
My question is
about her daughter and the dysfunctional relationship of 2 years.
Yeah, should she walk away from the relationship?
I mean, I think, it's important for her to define what that is. I mean, I think that she seems pretty tight in this to me. I don't get a sense that that's what she wants to do. I mean, so here's the way you could look at it. If sometimes what people will do is, even though you can look at it from the outside and say, okay, this is maybe not the easiest thing for you to do, and I don't know that I totally trust your partner. But if she feels the emotional connection, though, and sometimes people go through situations because there's a sort of a learning curve for them. So my sense with this is that she's pretty connected to him. Is that true?
She's pretty, somewhat, but she's the one that's struggling with leaving the relationship because it doesn't meet her needs. So, and that's what's so painful for her. Yeah.
See, there's the logical thing. I mean, when you have sort of a codependent type of situation, there is the sense, I talk myself into a space where I want to go, but yet I still stay. So I think to me, energetically, they're very entangled. So the question is not so much, to me, should she go or does she think she should go? To me, the real core question is, why? What is it that's keeping her connected? Because I think she's building a case that this is not maybe the optimal space for her, that this is not really something that works for me, but she still seems connected to it.
Well, because she feels in the hope that he's going to change.
Well,
I
she's
think he's very heart connected, but he's lazy. There's something really lazy about him, and she doesn't really have the energy to actually make him, go into his next level of productiveness. And I really don't know if he'll ever go into that productiveness.
Exactly.
And that's why it's a very immature relationship. But she is definitely heart connected. But she doesn't, so she's not sure if she should leave it or not, because it's more of a friendship level of wanting to be with this person. This person maybe makes her laugh. He makes her feel, that she's in control sometimes and smart. And that, there's a lot of confidence in an odd way that she gets from this guy. But the bottom line is that he's maybe not ever going to go to a next stage. But, I feel that won't be a problem too much longer. I think that the relationship will stall out. And it's best to just keep supporting her in what she does best, and she'll come out of it. And just, have your mother and daughter time where it's really fun and helpful, and not even talking too much about the relationship, because I really think it's going to stall out and burn out on its own, because the ember is very small.
Right.
Well, how about you?
That's exactly what I do. I just,
it's not a great passion.
Right.
Yeah, there's an ember. There's not a great passion, but there's a friendship, and I think the friendship, she's wanting to, she keeps hoping for the best. She hopes for the best for these people.
Exactly.
And the best, right. He's just not fulfilling it, and he's not going to fulfill it, and it's okay, because he just needs to go on with his life upcoming, but she's going to come out of it on her own. What do you think, Andrew?
I still think that I think there's a real entanglement issue here, a codependent kind of issue here, to me. Yeah. And I think, in order for that change to happen, there's initially the kind of the value judgment, this doesn't work. I think she's already there.
She's definitely there. She's definitely there. She's there.
But she's
right.
not. She's not emotionally acting upon her conscious judgment. This is what I'm saying. So she's already made the conscious decision. She's made the conscious decision.
She has.
This doesn't work for me. But she's not leaving it anyway. That's why I'm saying that if she has made the conscious decision, I'm going to go, but she still stays, then what does that tell you? This to me is where she's at.
Right. So it's only about her at that point. It's like gaining her confidence level. You know, happiness for sure.
There's something that's happening here. So you have to look at the psychology of everybody involved here. Right. At some point, yes, this, in my opinion, the highest probability is this relationship will end later. Do I believe it's going to end right now? I don't, because I think that she is still very emotionally connected, and there's also an element of her learning about herself that's still yet to come. So this is a kind of a soulmate type of relationship to me, but soulmate relationships are not always easy, and they're not always positive, but they are relationships that come along that change the trajectory of your path. I believe that everyone's telling her to leave. She wants to leave, but she's not leaving. To me, that's
everybody's telling her no. Everybody's telling her you do whatever you need to do for yourself. Nobody's telling her to leave. Actually, nobody is telling her to leave. Definitely not.
Well, I mean, I don't think that there's a real supportive environment for her. I mean, I don't think people. I mean, I think if you took a poll, probably a lot of people would say that that's not so good for her. But everybody says that, but everybody knows that the relationship is not good for her. But they're all supportive in her in whatever she decides to do. Right.
You know?
I mean,
whatever she decides to do, it's fine.
The thing is, what I'm trying to say, though, Carmen, is that I believe that most people, if you ask them, would say that that relationship is not something she should do. Is that true or not?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the first point. The second point is that she's probably well aware that most people think we'll do whatever you want, but if you really asked us, we don't think this is so good for you. That would be my second piece. Is that correct?
Oh yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so we'll support you whatever, but really what we think you should do is get out. She's not getting out though. So no matter what, however many people think she should leave, no matter how much you can build a case that that's what she should do, she's not doing it. I mean, to me, that's the reality of the situation. So if if A, B, and C are correct, then the only real true answer is that she is emotionally connected, no matter how much consciously she thinks she should be disconnected. So the question is, what has to happen to break that emotional connection? Because to me, it's super strong. And I don't see it dissolving over the weekend myself. So that would suggest
maybe
that
not over
probably,
the weekend, but I think in time it's going to.
Well, yeah, in time it's going to.
Yeah, a couple of years. I mean, but, you know, I just think it's that there's just an early love to it that doesn't necessarily make it a good long-term relationship, because I don't think he pulls enough weight.
Well, I mean, and I would agree with that. And so Carmen, I think the answer is that your daughter has not learned what she's supposed to learn from it. So I think that I believe there's still a strong connection with them.
I actually think that she's at the point that she has learned everything she's learned, because she's really at the point that she's like, she's made so many. You're right. She's made so many changes in her life, and as she's making these changes, she's moving further and further away from her, taking care of herself more, and that's what it is. The breaking, she's moving away. She has been doing that, and she's at the point right now where the final straw just happened. The final straw just happened.
That's good.
Right.
I still think she's connected. I still think she's very emotionally connected. I think there's going to be more than one final straw, too. I mean, again, that's my opinion. Do I have a pipeline?
There's already been a couple of final straws. Yeah, there's already been a couple.
There's been a couple of final straws. A final straw should be the final one.
No, I think I'm saying, yeah, but I think this is definitely, because this is the issue this is the main issue that has been going on for the past 2 years. It's finally come to the point where he has said he's not gonna rectify it. You know, like basically this is what it is. Take it or leave it. Which it's too painful. She can't take it. It's too painful.
So do you think she's going to leave him right now?
I think she's definitely ready.
I think she is. Yeah, I think she's almost ready.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, because the reason I don't is I think that she's still holding out. I don't think she's at that point yet.
Well,
I think she's had multiple opportunities.
You're right. She was holding out for the hope that he was going to take care of the situation, and you know that's what she was holding out for. For this past 6 months, she's been holding on that he was promising to take care of this one particular issue, and ultimately today he ultimately said he's not going to do it, and that's it. Boom.
Right. So she's in a decision mode this week. It's a big decision mode. This week is a big decision.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Virgo. It's all about fixing things.
Exactly.
I still think she's very intertwined with this man emotionally, and I think that she's had.
Oh yeah, she has a very
bazillion opportunities. A bazillion opportunities to wake up and go do something else. But if you look back at her behavior, no matter what's happened, she's still in this relationship.
Right. You know, you're right. But exactly. But she's, like I said, she's been, you know, I mean, the last 6 months have been like really, really, really a new awakening for her, and she's slowly been taking steps to move away from the relationship.
But if you look at a slow and steady thing that's 6 months, Carmen,
right,
that would suggest that's exactly what you're saying. That she was definitely entwined and trying to give him every benefit of the doubt to try to, you know, turn around and do the right thing. My best guess is that she's not done yet. So we'll know 6 months from now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, But I can send that. Yeah, he'll.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Lots of love and blessings. Mwah.
Mwah. Bye.
We've only got about 5 minutes left, so I want to thank you again. Time kind of goes fast, you know. I hope you had fun.
I did. It did go really fast, and it's great.
So
it's always great to hang out with you, Andrew.
Thank you. It's all I was having
Zita
fun.
too, and Zita's been so quiet. She didn't add in to what was happening. Yeah, we should have had her chime in. She always sees the way out. What did you feel was going to happen?
Well, I think she got out. I think she'll get out. But what I saw with this one is she is living the abused woman syndrome, where
absolutely
she won't be able to get out until she recognizes that. And I don't.
She's not there yet.
She's not there yet. And until she does that, she'll stay where she is.
She's in a codependent
Is that kind of that nurturing?
Relationship.
Oh, the codependency?
Yeah.
To me, absolutely. Because her self-esteem is like a pinball machine. I bet that everybody's assumed that the final straw, I bet there's been 5 final straws in the past 8 to 9 months. And each one is going to be the end, but somehow it's not.
Right.
So I don't believe that this final straw is any more final than the 5 final straws before.
But is it necessarily like codependency, or is it just somebody who wants to be brave and confident and trying to create the relationship? You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, if they're young, you have to work it. So it's kind of interesting. Now, if it's
Yeah, I mean, again, not in 10 minutes, not like we're experts, but energetically, my sense with this is that there's been a lot of ups and downs. That would be, that she's consciously well aware of the situation and wants to change. See, here's the thing. If I want to get out of it, but I'm still in it, then it's not conscious. That's a simple formula. If I want to leave and I have 20,000 pieces of evidence and information that tell me to leave, and if I make my checklist stay or go, it always says go, but I keep staying, then that's unconscious.
But I think what I think she holds on to is the formula that maybe next time it'll be better. Maybe I can still fix this. And that's part of the nurturing in her, and that's part of her being young, where she has to realize that she has to protect herself first. And she hasn't.
Right, it could be pheromones and hormones, too.
Right.
We never usually make the right choices with pheromones.
And, we're not picking up on him. I'm not. So I
am.
What I'm thinking with her is he is saying all the right things to keep her there. But his actions don't follow the words that he's saying to her.
Right.
And
that's where I think
that's flipping her back and forth, because she's going, but he's saying this, but he's doing this. I don't know which one to believe.
Right.
So he does something,
and that's
I'm not going to put up with it another time, but yet the next day I'm still in it.
Right.
So if Carmen calls back in 6 months.
Wow, I know that one.
Yeah.
So once again, TaraSutphen.com. Please check out her website. We will be back next week. We actually have 2 guests next week, Miriam Slosberg and Susie Wright. So we'll be doing a little bit of social media and then the psychic thing too. Zita, you want to say adios?
Adios. I'll be on tomorrow night with Backstage.
Fantastic. Please check out the other shows here on the Hazy Radio Network. TaraSutphen.com, Andrew-Brewer.com. Zita, how do I find you?
Love and blessings to you, too. Love and blessings, Phil.
Thank you, Tara. And you can find me on Facebook at Zita Ost. Just look for that. My website's not up yet.
Everybody have a happy week, a happy Labor Day. Pray for my thumb.
Okay.
And we will see you all next week.
Good night.
Have a good week, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Shine bright, highlights are so Brooklyn. Black and white unite, we form Brooklyn. Lose and win in the end, it's still Brooklyn.
I never thought anything without first of all saying God is everything. And if it wasn't for God, I'd never ever would have been.
Let me tell you where I'm from, Bed-Stuy, where they say you gotta do or die. Brownsville and it's still never and never will. Don't try to ever take my pride. It ain't been easy, but I wouldn't trade it, cause that's how I made it. Anybody wanna know who the
You've been listening to the Rock and Roll Psychic Radio Show with your host, Andrew Brewer, and his co-host, Hazy. Join us every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Hazy Radio Network, for great guests and great topics. This has been a Hazy Media Productions in association with Andrew Brewer Psychic Medium Radio.